We actually have some Thunder Blitzclique action for you today. The return of Water and Blue Eyes too. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more. Is that the Thunderclash Snare Crow showing up in my Thunder pile? Well, it does appear to be the case, actually. Remember, each time a non-Thunder monster is about to summon face up while this card is in Monster Zone, that monster cannot attack this turn, also destroy during the end phase. The fact that this basically puts a limiting condition on the opponent is actually pretty cool. And if this card is in the graveyard, target one face-up card you control, destroy, and you do add this card back to your hand. Just kind of cool that we actually have an active Thunder monster here that can kind of assist us in some of our combo setup to be able to get things going. Obviously, you know, you're still playing Thunder Drag, good stuff within this deck, but just be careful, because if you lock yourself underneath the Blitzclique, then you're going to be left in a not so good situation, as we have seen with limiting factors such as this before in the past. You know, the locks are very, very important. Now, the extra deck down here, I see we are playing Astrolama. We do have access to the Return Stroke, which is also pretty important. And then, of course, yes, we are doing Mixosia, the Conflux. This card is very, very strong for this deck. You know, giving you access to a generic super poly target to smash up an entire field to be able to control the opponent is going to be very, very critically important for you. Also, you know, you're playing Thunder in 2026. You know, getting access into Colossus and Titan are both extremely important cards. They give you a lot more cleanup than I think you would really expect to see in an era like this. And this sort of stuff, you know, for the boss monsters that they are incredibly usable still to this day. So I do think there is something to this build. And, you know, I think more people are going to try more of the conflicting patterns of this, just because it creates a decent game plan for you to kind of be able to set up and go for. And we kind of needed that. Next up here, we have the Water pile. Now, considering the fact that this list managed to not only surprise me, I've not seen a lot of people testing out the waters of what if we take Neptibus and the rest of the water box and try to slam it together into maybe not the most consistent sort of pile, but I think it's worth noting. Now, this list is playing Triple More, I agree. This actually helps you unclutter your hand. As you can see, looking at your hand here, I have a feeling there's a bunch of overlap in some of these monsters that you're not going to want to see. Especially, you know, if we open up the Coelacanth, we want to be able to kind of return that back into the deck and maybe find some better cards depending on how the combo line is going. With the Goaty stuff, I mean, the Goaty package isn't even extensively large in here. It's a couple of the monsters. I think you're on 6 monsters here, and that's it for the Goaty package. So the build-up for that isn't even anything really too crazy. It's just, you're also playing Pear Bear Scare in here. Pear Bear Scare, being a non-targeting monster pop, has definitely been getting its rounds. I appreciate the fact that, you know, having that little upgrade to provide you with that pop matters all that much. Also, Pot of Going Second is present. You know, you have the Thrust Toggle into, we have the Lightning Storm. You have a lot of good cleanup options for your deck. So overall, gets a solid pass from me. I do want to see more of these water lists, though, because you got to remember, I mean, one of the biggest driving seat monsters for the reason why this deck is able to work is the fact that, you know, first Penguin just kind of ends up being one of the best starters that you can have for this deck. You know, little guy ends up just getting you as much extension capabilities as you kind of want to see. And obviously, you know, him getting the job done is very, very, very good. So good stuff, actually. They've found a way to make water a little bit more viable. Next up here, we have some Blue Eyes action for you. Now, this list actually performed very, very well out of a regional recently. And all jokes aside, I mean, like, I think a lot of people kind of consider Blue Eyes to kind of be dead in the water, you know. The deck doesn't really do anything too great, but we're in an era right now where, you know, it doesn't have to do anything too great. It's just, it's got to be here to be able to do things. And this build chose to play the Neo Kaiser Seahorse, which I think this is a good addition because it's a free special summon on a level modifier that also gets to dump a Blue Eyes out of the deck. Which means, you know, if you're like me and you open up this stupid field spell as much as you do, it's kind of nice to be able to get access into another Blue Eyes, so you know all the bricks are kind of out of the deck. Now, we're also only playing 2 Wishes for Blue Eyes. I think this is also fine. While this deck has, you know, pretty much cut back on a lot of the searchers, you're even also on, like, the minimalistic Primite engine, too. You know, you're only playing the 1 Drill Beam. You're also side decking the Scream. I think access to the Scream is good. Having this card be a cutoff point to ensure that, you know, your deck actually can get off of the ground is very important. Also, haha, hee hee, we have the Scam Fragrance in here. As we have seen, being able to roll out this stupid, incredibly powerful card wins you games just in and in itself. So that's a lot to kind of think about. A lot of appreciation for the Blue Eyes deck itself. Also, we are side decking the Jet Dragon. I think this is also important. Jet Dragon's one of those monsters that scams you free wins. And you want to be able to have access to this card kind of as a big helper to be able to, you know, net you the positives of it. Also, you know, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects is a pretty devastatingly annoying line set up on a card. Yeah, who would have guessed, right? Being able to roll this through and tell your opponent to get good is incredibly powerful. Next up is the pile. Now, I call this the pile, but the reality of the situation is, you know, the Diabellstar package has just become a pseudo-splashable package that all of these decks want to try to play right now, because access into the Azamina stuff is just all that more important. You know, hey, if I can build a deck that I can roll out the Omni in and be able to safely protect my field, then it's going to be worth it. Now, you're also playing Mitsurugi in here. Mitsurugi is the backbone of this deck, all right? Everything that you think you're doing, advantage-wise, passively, it's your baseline here is going to be this. We're also playing the Sky Striker stuff. If we did have King of the Feral Imps, we'd be able to do some funny things, you know, being able to make the 0, get the 2/4s up, but we don't actually have that combo line for us to work with, you know. We have to work on more of the passive line. Also, what is this? We are playing a lot of Lava Golems in this side deck. This is actually kind of impressive to me. And we're also playing triple Dark Spirit's Mastery to go search for those Lava Golems. The amount of pressure that builds up because we have access to all of this is really good. But this also, this kind of showcases one of the problems in the format, you know, being able to call up the Lava Golem as that little breaker of the field just to be able to get things going, I think is pretty telling of things. Also, heck, man, we have Dimensional Fissures in here to disrupt the opponent. We have Lightning Storms clear out back row. And we've also got Evenly Matched to be able to break through things here as well. Truthfully, the amount of, you know, pressure to break fields from the opponent in this list is about as good as you would really expect it. And honestly, I think that's good. Outside of that, I think 2 Hollowed Azamina is fine. Of course, I mean, you're maximizing on, you know, every other potential facet that you want to with this list. And last but not least, we have some more Teller Knight good stuff. This Teller Knight, you know, blowout pile that's been circulating around the internet has definitely been pretty interesting to watch. I do got to say, though, still, the Teller Knight Alpha is a very expensive inclusion into this deck. But, I mean, the reality of the situation is, you know, this is kind of a card that you need. Obviously, the goal of the deck is to be able to set up the turn skip and then tell your opponent to, no, you will not get a turn. I will not allow it. And that's kind of what your game plan is, right? It's also why, you know, they've chosen to play the Dododo Warrior, because it is another level 4 that further feeds into the level 4 extension combo line so that you can basically get up and go. Oh, so I mean, outside of that, you know, we have the Sakitama as the additional normal if need be. We're playing the 2 Skybridge, which I think is fine. Also only 2 7 Tachyon. I don't really have a problem with this either. I think 7 Tachyon is a fantastic card for this deck, just to be able to kind of get you set up and to go. Also, triple of pretty much every other good card that you're going to need. But this is the Teller Knight experience. Ever since this deck popped up out of the UK, a lot more people have been looking to explore this. And honestly, I don't really blame people. I think it's a lot of fun. So what do you guys think about today's interesting meta challengers? We're going to continue to see a lot more people kind of innovating. I mean, we're heading on into the WCQ season. At the end of the day, I think we're going to see some interesting little choices kind of flipping around here, but outside of that, I mean, I think format's going to start to solve itself pretty quickly. So please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.